Hi and welcome. My name is Ernie Floyd and you're joining us on Soaring with the Eagles. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce to you Division IV MIAA basketball champions of Massachusetts, Worcester Technical High School. So we're going to start from the right, which is to your left, and we're going to begin with you. Introduce yourself, your name and your title, and the position you play on the team.
My name is Jose Bonilla. I play guard for Worcester Tech.
Brennan Hamilton. I play center.
Duran Kuma. I play guard.
And Sean Lynch, I am the head coach.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, so what we'd like to do is start out, we're going to go back a little bit before we get into what presently just happened. It was a very special event. Everyone was celebratory about the whole city, about the special occasion that was accomplished by these young men. And I want to begin with Coach Sean Lynch. Sean Lynch and I go back a number of different years. Back in the early 2000s,
Yes.
You and I were assistant coaches at another program. And you started out basketball in that way. And why did you start out basketball at that particular program?
I happened to be just working at North High at the time, and I was coaching at the East Middle School, and East Middle was the feeder for North High. And so I was able to get in my first year at North with former coach Tim Bebo, worked a year under him. Mm-hmm. And then he moved to St. Peter Mary, and then Al Petway took over the program, and Al needed a JV coach, so I applied for that job, was lucky enough to get that, and then we all worked together on that staff for quite some time, had some good success there as well, learned a lot from all the coaches there, and the kids too.
Right. You did a very good job there, and you was very attentive, and you wanted to learn a lot about basketball and how the program worked, and then all of a sudden, years go by, you had some success there. You know, we had some big games against, the St. John's of the world and the Dohertys and those North High battles, and especially South. Can't forget those guys.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you had an opportunity to move on. And how did that happen?
So the job opened up here at Worcester Tech, and I thought it was a great opportunity. I felt like the time was right to make the move. I learned a lot from Al and Kevin and yourself, and I think I felt like I was confident enough to take over a program. So this job opened up, and then they had a math position up here as well. So it seemed like a perfect fit for me. So.
Hey, you had a lot of things going on at that time too. Not only did you ended up coming here to the program, you started a young family. Your family was getting out the stages as well. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah. So 2009, we had my son Patrick, and so we had a lot going on my first year here. It was an eventful time of life. Trying to balance everything, and lucky I have my wife is great. So.
Right. So how did you make the transition from JV coach, all of a sudden now you're the head coach of a vocational school?
Yeah, so it was a big jump in terms of managing the program and making sure everyone is on the same page. Making sure you have good assistants. When I came up here at first, the JV coach Nick Coughlin was staying on board, so he worked with me for the first couple of years. He was great, fellow math teacher up here.
Right.
And then he kind of had, as his family expanded, it was getting bigger, he had to step down, so we put the job out to, and we have a retired Worcester police officer, Don Cummings, took the job, and he's been outstanding to work with.
So over the years, has your philosophy changed up until this point, or how did your philosophy get? What is your philosophy?
My philosophy has been, we preach about doing things the right way, working hard. I'm big on defense too. That's been our meal ticket here since we've been here. But just making sure the kids do things the right way, work hard, and they're responsible.
All right. So let's start with your player over there on the far right there. Let him reintroduce himself again, and then you first had a chance to coach him several years ago. I believe he's a junior now.
Duran's our junior. These two guys are the old men of the group right here, Jose and Brendan.
All right, so we'll start with Duran. Okay, so tell us about the first time you had the chance to meet him.
Yeah, well, I actually met D through Jumpstart at the school, which is a freshman orientation program. But I had found out that he was coming to our school through one of my neighbors, whose son played AAU with Duran, and her son went to Holy Name, but Duran was coming here.
Okay.
So she let me know that Duran had been accepted and he's coming here. But then we met him at Jumpstart, and he's played varsity since his freshman year. So he's gotten better every year. Does a lot of we ask him to play a lot of different positions. We put him as a undersized power forward. So the last few years, and he's done a great job for us. And I think I've said this before. I think his best game this year was the state championship game, the most important game of the year. So.
Well, Duran, tell us about your experience by meeting Coach Lynch the first time when you knew he was coming here, and then you guys connected together, and now you're on the basketball team together. Tell us about that experience.
So the first time I met Coach Lynch, well, I'll say I was pretty nervous leaving middle school, coming into high school. I didn't know what to expect. So my expectations were low. I didn't know what I was coming into. And so basically, he taught me everything that I needed to know about the high school experience that is going to be happening and taking place for me. And so that's pretty much.
Yeah, it's a huge transition coming from the middle school to the high school, because Worcester Tech is very demanding. It's a whole new world. You had new friends, and you had to apply to get in, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your academics.
My academics in middle school, it was really good, actually. Well, I heard a lot of great things about Worcester Tech, how it was a great blue ribbon school, how they say Obama came over here. So it was a school that everybody was talking about during that time. It was like a hot topic.
Sure.
So when I was coming in, I knew I was coming into something great.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And introduce the next gentleman that you have.
This is Brendan Hamilton, our senior center.
First time you met him, we'll go back in the beginning.
Well, first time we saw him play, he slipped through the hallways. I never saw him in the hallways, and then we see him in tryouts.
In class.
We see him in tryouts. Yeah, I didn't have him in class. So, and we're just surprised, because we don't have anyone with height around here kind of stands out.
Right.
So we saw him on the tryouts, and he was very raw.
Right.
And no,
they call that a project, right?
Yeah, he's just. Kid has worked so hard. We worked out on his own with his teammates in the off season. He's just gotten better and better, and he's far from reached the ceiling. He still hasn't hit his ceiling.
Right.
He's just great. So
tell us about your transition from middle school and coming here. What made you come to Worcester Technical High School?
I don't really when I first wanted to come here. It's just because I knew it was a good school.
Sure.
All the things that Darren said.
Right.
I knew also, but it was a tough transition. I played JV a year.
Okay.
I mean, when I first met Coach, I was a little scared because he was a little
right.
meaner than I thought Coach would be. But
yeah, sure.
Right.
High expectations. You know how it is.
I know.
Nah, it was a little scary seeing him at first. Being JV, Coach Cummings is really nice. He works with you a lot, but Coach Lynch likes to yell sometimes, so it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the other gentleman you have. He's special too, right?
Absolutely. Jose Bonilla, senior guard. Played for 3 years on the varsity with us, right? 3 years? Yeah.
Let's start back with your transition here, coming here. What made you come to Worcester Technical High School?
I had family who came here before me.
Okay.
So they kind of told me about it, and I already knew it was a pretty good school. So I want to get out of my middle school, actually, and I thought this would be a good place.
Nice. So we've been talking about academics and stuff, and not one person decided to come here because of sports. Is that right? Everyone came here because of it, and that's great. Absolutely. So you emphasize, you teach here.
I do. Head of the math department here. Yep. We definitely we try to keep these kids on task academically. It's important to us. Very important. To open up doors in the future as these guys are getting older. They're starting to see it now. It's critical you have to be a student athlete. That's more important than putting the ball in the hoop.
Right, there you go. So you've been emphasizing it the last several years. And so tell us about some of the challenges getting up until this point. And we're going to talk about that championship day as well as we work our way up there. So tell us about your last several years up into the championship point. Some of the things that you noticed, the coaching style, the competition, and just tell us about your growth over the last several years.
All right. Since freshman year, we had a lot of obstacles, which was Maynard.
Yeah.
That was a big obstacle of ours to get over. So we had a lot of players that have came through that have been trying to run them over, and they had a lot of great players that were over there that been there for a while, but they graduated this year.
Okay.
I mean, they graduated last year, and so the coaching style, I really like our coaching style. I feel like it's different from other like places,
Sure.
like the intensity and how we're not only focused on just one side of the ball.
Right.
We focus on the other side, which is defense, which a lot of schools and other places, to me, that I've seen, they don't focus on as much.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yourself.
Like you said, for the coaching style, we focus on defense, and that usually like gets us a lot of easy transition buckets, and that's how we played over the past 4 years.
And that's helping your development too as a player?
Yeah, definitely, because I'm not a big, I mean, like I'm tall, but I'm not as tall as some of the other kids, so it's easier to
Right.
run out.
And you have some other
quickness.
interests too, as far as other sports, right? You mentioned that last time when we interviewed you on our radio station. that you
Yeah, I
play
play
radio,
I play football and volleyball also.
Okay, all right. How about yourself, Jose?
The coaching style has always been the same: play defense, get out and run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's worked for us very well.
Right.
It's gotten me into shape. So.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, one of the tough things about coaching, especially young people, is to how do you get them to buy into the program? You know, because you can coach and you can advise and you can teach and show and so forth and so on. How are we able to accomplish that by allowing them in to buy into the program?
Well, I think it's easy when you have like upperclassmen to help you to do that, and I think over the years that's set the tone. We've had kids come back. I mean, very often you can come to one of our practices and you'll see one or two kids that played like last year or 2 years down the road, and they're all
right here.
yeah, and they're coming back. You know, we kind of harped on the theme of brotherhood this year, because I mean, not only do we have it from kids coming back, but we actually have coaches on our staff that are alumni of Worcester Tech, alumni of Worcester Vocational, and I think that helps tie in. And I think I mean, these kids were hungry. Like Duran said, we've lost to Maynard. 4 years, I think, like last 3 or 4 years they knocked us out. So when we had a chance this year to finally get over that hurdle, and they took care of business. So
Duran, tell me, when everything's going great, I know there's some moments during the season, and even in practice and in preparation, and you had some good games, and when everything's going great, that's one thing. You know, everyone rides that. But tell us how you handle adversity, though, because that's one of the key things that you're going to have to learn not only on the court, but also in life as well. How do you handle that adversity?
How I handle adversity is well, at first, like in my beginning years of high school, like I took like it's not taking everything so personal.
Yeah.
It's more like it's all about your mentality. So it's like it's always like coach preaches all the time about next play mentality. So we apply it like in mostly everything that we do. It's like the next just think about the next play, your next action, and I apply it to my life as well.
Right. How about yourself?
That's just something like you kind of learn going along.
Yeah.
Like maybe like freshman and sophomore year.
Right.
If we would have played this year, I don't think we wouldn't have had the same knowledge. Maybe we wouldn't have gone as far.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have been able to. A lot of the games we came out and maybe we were close or losing a little bit by halftime, but we just knew we had to come out and play harder the second half.
Jose?
Like Duran said, next play mentality, pretty much. Like when we were younger, it didn't really get to me about next play. I used to kind of dwell on things, but as I got older, I realized.
How are you able to recognize that? Because that's one of the tough things for our young people is to not only handle adversity, but how do you get them out of that moment? And it seems as though, according to your style, you don't allow them a chance to stay there. You got them folks to move on to the next
well,
level.
I feel like these guys have helped me learn a lot over the years. Not even like the alumni is that like the X's and O's matter, but the mindset's actually equally important in my opinion. And realizing that if you can stay focused on what the task at hand is, you are going to hit bumps in the road. If we've said weather the storm a lot, there's storm, we're gonna life, basketball, something's gonna happen, but eventually, you'll get through it. So
how do you handle it academically? I know the school is not easy; it's challenging in a lot of different ways. And how do you handle it academically?
Academics, I just make sure everything is balanced and structured. I always have a structure to everything that I do because when you come to Worcester Tech, everything is since you're dealing with a shop week and an academic week, there has to be a balance in between, and you have to have a time for everything. and make sure that everything is just basically structured.
Right.
Yeah.
Brandon, how do you handle adversity if it comes to the classroom? Well, how do you handle the academics, those challenges? Coach is not there peeking in the classroom saying, "Hey, by the way, get get onto it."
Well, it's just making sure that you talk with like teachers and stuff. Whoever you go to for help, just making sure that they're able to help you. And if nobody's there for you, then you just have to. Usually somebody's there for you, but if nobody's not, then you just have to figure it out. Like you have the whole shop week to get your work done.
Right.
So if you play sports, you have that whole week all day.
Sure. Jose, how do you handle
Just
academic
talk to my
challenges?
teachers, pretty much figure out what I gotta get done, make sure I pass, make sure I'm doing well.
So now going forward, they're learning all these different methods from you. It brings you to this point. Now coming into the season, the 2019 season, how do you know the season? How do you know the season was going to be special, or did you know the season was going to be special? Well, how do you approach each season?
Yeah, every season's different. We
Yeah,
knew
sure.
we knew going into this year we were going to be good. We had no doubt. We finished on a high. We also graduated last year. Some key guys, real key guys. But we knew we had the group going into this year that people would step up and rise to the challenge. Guys that would get more minutes, like Duran, who didn't play as much as sophomore year, played a lot more as Jeremy started this year for us. Duran, Andrew, guys, the younger guys. So we knew we had the chance to be special. I don't want to lie and say we knew we were going to win the state championship. But I mean, it's a tribute to these guys. They just worked so hard to get there.
Now you got guys, as you mentioned, you got guys playing in front of them. What makes you stay? Because sometimes people want to play immediately. They feel as though they're that good, but you were patient. You waited on the side, and you took your time, and then all of a sudden now, you got that spot that you always wanted. And most young people, sometimes they don't wait. They don't want to put the time in, and they want it immediately. But you waited.
Yeah. So I seen the vision. I seen where we were going. How we always had a chance to compete for something like this. We were always like one step closer, or one shot away, one stop away. So it was always just like that belief where like my time will come, and when my time comes, I'll take advantage of it, and that's what we did. We took advantage of our time.
Now you played multiple sports here, and for you, why did you stay in the program? Because you weren't playing immediately, I can imagine, and if you wasn't, and I know you wanted it right then and there, you had other sports to go to. Why did you stay in?
I think with basketball specifically, it's like a smaller team.
Sure.
So you get more like a family vibe. Like we care about each other, even about the alumni that left. Like Coach said, they're always coming back. We still hang out together. We go out get dinner, things like that. So it's just you can't like leave your brothers like that.
Okay, nice. Jose, your philosophy on it? You didn't play immediately as well, right? You had to grow into it as well. What made you stay around and see the vision?
It was just fun, honestly, to be around my friends and stuff. And like Brendan said, it was kind of smaller, so we would do stuff after practice, or just like play one-on-one, or go eat, or go do this, go do that. And it was just honestly just fun.
So how did you develop all this philosophy? Besides when you worked back in another program at North High like that, but you had to pick up some things along the way. So tell us what made you pick up a lot of these different things. These guys are really on it.
I think you just learn over years. I think you learn. I learned from coaches I've worked with. But also, I feel like the thing that's not stated enough by coaches is that you learn a lot from like these guys. You learn a lot from your players. You learn like, I do yell at times. So I've been known to yell at times, but I also know like during the middle of a game, a critical game is not going to help me to blast these guys at a timeout and start screaming at them, because that's not going to help. So like that's a tribute to them, because I've learned. The way I have to approach things.
The psychological.
Yeah, it's critical. That was my goal going into the season. That was our big talking about mentality. That was our big, because we have skill. They all can play.
Right. So. Well, it seems as though they come a long way, and want to say congratulations to you guys once again. And so now you get to the point where the season starts, and then you've had some ebb and flow during the season. So tell us about the beginning of the season. Where were you at the beginning of the season? What your train of thought was, and how was the style of play in the beginning?
It was good. We saw that we definitely, our defense was getting better. We were out running a lot, which we wanted. We had a little bump in the road early against Astabet. That was where we, they're a very good team, and they beat us pretty handily at their gym the first game. And then from there, I think we faced some tougher, St. Bernard's, Sutton's. And these kids just kept getting better and better. Yeah.
Oh, so where were you at the middle of the season? Because I know that you sit with the team and you sit with their coaches and you sit back and you evaluate. Okay, this is where we were in the beginning. This is where we are in the middle. So where were you in the middle?
I think you were showing. I mean, coaching staff. We didn't share this with the kids until about near the end. But like myself and Coach Cummings said, this is a team that can compete for the state championship if they keep doing what they're doing. Then by the end of the season, we're like, you know what, we could win it.
Okay.
So yeah, no, and it's just because of when you have guys that work hard and want to get better and invested in getting better, it makes it a pretty easy job.
So now you're at the end of the season, right? So now you're looking at, okay, did you get your 10 wins, right? And you got in. And then did you go through the ceremony? Did you go out to Franklin like that and find out where the standings were?
No, we kind of knew going in.
Where your pairings were? Where you
yeah, we knew that if the last couple of games, if we had taken care of business, which they did, we would be the #1 seed again. Because we had beaten Assabet at our gym, and they had a couple losses, and Hopedale had, I think, 2 losses as well. So as long as we took care of our games, we figured we'd be the #1 seed, and then we knew we'd have that first round bye, which is great. Then you play 1 game, and you're at Clark this year, not WPS.
So then who was that opponent?
First one was a league opponent, Parker, who we had played earlier in the year.
You felt pretty good about going in.
Real good.
Anything can happen when you get into the postseason.
And yeah, we felt good about that game because we beat them before pretty handily, and but in the back of my mind, I tell the guys after that, I worry sometimes about teams that we've already beaten.
The letdown.
Yeah, the letdown. Whereas when we play the Maynards, the Abingtons, these kids are going to step up for the challenge. And they did, though. They took care of the business against Parker.
Right.
And then the next game was at Clark versus Maynard.
Right. So then what happened after that? And I believe you went up to was that Hopedale or something like that?
We didn't play Hopedale. We played So it was Parker in the quarter. Then you had Maynard in the semifinal game. And
how'd you feel about that when you had Maynard?
I knew it was going to be a tough game, but the way these kids came out was just amazing. I mean, they just completely shut them down. To the point where I lost track of the score at halftime going downstairs, and I was kind of still in a frenzy, and one of my coaches had to say, "Coach, we're up 20 right now. Calm down." So
isn't that a good feeling when your team is like continues to grow, continues to excel in the process? Because some teams don't necessarily grow and excel when it gets to the postseason.
That's great.
And so you and I experience it. We get young people, and they get to. That's why I kept asking that question about the adversity, because all of a sudden you get in those situations, the crowd is going crazy, and all of a sudden you're down, and everyone's saying you didn't pass it to me, you didn't get that rebound, and you're fouling, and it's going crazy. But you were able to keep this group together.
Well, like I said, 8 seniors. You kind of put it on them, and they did it. So.
Right. So now you get into the championship. Now you know the big one's there, right?
Yes.
You did all the work, middle of the season, beginning of the season, middle of the season. Now you come to the end. Then you get those stepping stones. And then what happens is now you're into the championship. What was the preparation for the big one?
So the big one, we're playing. The district championship was Assabet. So now it's the 4th time we've played this team. We lost, like I said, the first time, but the last 2 we beat them. So now it's game 4, and at Worcester State, which was a great experience. And again, these kids, they know us, we know them. There were no tricks. It was just, all right, guys, let's go play, and they got it done.
Now, do you sense nervousness in the locker room? When, you pretty much know your team, the characteristics and the psyche of your team. You know the nervousness, and you know how to get prepared, whether it's music or they wear a certain sock or wear a certain shoe or something. And do they have that type of thing going on?
Some of these guys are looser than others. Like I can tell you right now, this guy right here is he's got a great mind. He's carefree. He's happy. He's just. I'm jealous. I wish I could be like that at times because I'm not.
It's a game.
Right. And
that's his personality.
He's kind of like that as well. I think Jose keeps it inside a little bit more like myself at times. But that's good. I think that's good to have a mix of personalities. I think that as a team, that's a positive. So you don't want a bunch of guys like that and a bunch of guys like me. So
they're warming up. They're at WPI. The crowd's coming in. In Abington. Came down. They have a story of their own, and they want to win as well, obviously. Right. And so now I saw you at the bench. You're sitting there. All the assistants are there, and all the players are out there. So how are you feeling during that long time?
Just great, just proud. Like it was a sense of pride because not only just for for the school, but also for the city, because by the
Sure.
time that game started, I remember looking up and just saying, where did all these people come from? Like, it was just, it was impressive. Like, people that weren't Worcester people per se, just Central Mass, were there cheering for these guys, and that I was very proud of that.
Right. So now they're talking about the 30, right? Almost like the 30 for 30 you get here on ESPN. But your 30 here is 30 years ago was the last time a city school, is that right? Had an opportunity. Tell us.
So the no Worcester Public Schools has ever won a boys basketball state title.
Wow.
So this team right here was the first group to do that.
And you know the talent has come through the city of Worcester, you know, and you can name them all off, and some incredible
Yeah, we've been a part of some of them.
They've been on to college and they moved on to the pros and some instances. And you're saying this is the first time.
It's the first time.
And then you had an assistant coach who actually was on that team, huh? Tell us about that.
So Dwayne, one of our coaches, Dwayne Anderson, a Worcester Voc alumni, was on the team in 1989 that went to the state finals. They didn't win. So we kind of joked with him a little bit after the game, like, sorry, coach, but this might have to go down as the best Worcester Tech Voc team ever. So,
but going with pressure, when did they know about that? Because I know it was talked about, but you didn't I'm pretty sure you didn't emphasize that with these guys. Like, hey, you can make history and this kind of. Or maybe you did. I don't know.
We walked out. We had a walkthrough before the final game up here, and before we left the gym, I went over to show him the banner. We have a banner in there when Dwayne played. It says state finalist. Didn't say state champ. I said that banner. We got to make history. We got a chance to change that. So no, they knew going into it before they knew what was. Because we knew they could handle that pressure. Not there wasn't pressure. But.
So now halftime comes. Where are you mentally at halftime with the team? And where are you mentally at halftime?
Halftime. Well, we had some people in foul trouble. So and there was some key guys. I was in foul trouble as well. And all I was thinking was like, so we have some people in foul trouble. And I don't know what we were
down. I think we were down.
Down. Yeah, I was like, so we have some people in foul trouble, down 3. Everybody's out here supporting us. We got everybody behind us. So my mentality was that we have to finish all this business and bring this home. So yeah, that was basically
halftime. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking that we need to just come out strong the second half. We were playing good, I thought. We just need to do a little better job defending the Andrews kid.
Yeah,
but
here's the story. Yeah. Jose, what do you think? Halftime, what were you thinking?
Just to relax, go out there, 16 more minutes, just play. All you got, throw it on the way.
All right, so then halftime starts. Came to the second half. He went to it was back and forth and back and forth. It was crazy. It was loud. Everyone was excited. And third period ends. Now you go into the fourth period. How about when Andrews hit it? He went to the bench, and then they put another player in, and he came back in. And when he came back in, it was like about 2 or 3 seconds to go, and he hit a big shot. Tell us about that shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was
that ended the third period, right?
Yeah, it was a big shot, but it's the mentality. Like we're okay. We've been down in big games, and we have kids that have played, so we know we're going to be all right. So it's just having trust in these guys, and we did.
Yeah, and he was trying his best, and he was willing his
talented.
Team, and he gained some momentum. But then you guys stayed steadfast, and you pushed it right back. So now the fourth period comes into play, back and forth, and then there was a play at the very, very end. Tell us about the play at the very end.
So play at the end. Well, there's a play where they have the ball, and a kid fumbles the ball, kind of loses the ball. D gets it. Duran gets the ball and throws it outlets up to Zaire, who ends up finishing, scoring a basket, and they call a timeout, and there's 4 seconds left or something like that, and we are up 3. Oh, it was 3?
Yeah,
3-point game. And then they have a timeout. So our discussion at the bench is,
you know who they wanted to go to,
Yeah, we tried to double him too, but he still still got the ball, and he threw up a kind of a,
in the similar spot that he ended it with the third period. He hit that shot.
So, but whatever. The basketball gods were with us that day. So.
There you go. And you guys rushed the floor, and the rest is history, as they say, right?
That's right. Yep.
D4, MIAA, Worcester Technical High School, state champion. How's that sound?
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, how's that sound? Yeah, how's that sound?
Best thing I heard, right?
Yeah, how's that sound?
Sounds
All right, we're going to wrap up here. I'm soaring with the Eagles. I'm Ernie Floyd with Coach Lynch and his players from Worcester Technical High School. Enjoyed talking with you guys about life, education, of course, sports. So let's go into what's going to happen for you for next time out. What's your plans for the future, as they say?
Well, I'm still a junior right now, so next year I want to get another one. I'm not content with just this one, and then move on from there.
Okay.
I definitely want to go play college basketball, but I still want to make sure I come back here and come to practices like everybody else does.
Okay. There you go. Put yourself open.
Finish this year off strong, play college ball next year, and hopefully see what happens then.
Okay. All right. You got any closing remarks while I'm still over there with you? What do you want to say?
Stay champs.
Go with yourself.
I don't know.
All right. Stay champs. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Just thanks for all the support from the community, school, everybody, yourself coming up. It's great.
No, it's a pleasure and an honor like that. I feel like I'm part of the state champs because of the fact that I go back with Coach Lane, so I'm like the step cousin.
Absolutely, man.
That's the step relative. I'm Randy Floyd along with Coach Lynch, and of course, we had the chance to meet the Worcester Tech Eagles. And this is Soaring with the Eagles, and we're going to see you next time, right here, coming to you from Worcester Technical High School. Thank you.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king of the microphone. So I got the J, Moses Malone. I like slam dunks, it takes me to the beat. My favorite play is the Moses Malone. I like slam dunks, it takes me to the beat.